Hello, I'm Dr. M from VMC. Welcome to today's video where we are going to dive into the pool of research that's available on coconut oil. I'll be unpacking the studies to provide you with a comprehensive understanding about whether or not coconut oil lives up to the hype. So join me, you'll learn something today. The use of coconut oil is a bit of a fad that's been going on for a number of years. It seems to have started on the human side of things, and as with many fads, has come over onto the veterinary side of things. It is primarily touted by proponents of alternative medicine, and there are claims that coconut oil is useful for all sorts of things. Some places claim that you can use it to prevent or treat skin disease, to prevent cancer, to help with weight loss, to help with all sorts of health issues, including allergies, GI tract problems, infections, diabetes, and so on. So let's have a look at the research. So coconut oil primarily consists of saturated fats. These can be long or medium chain triglycerides and mostly include a specific fat called lauric acid. As I mentioned, some of the fats in coconut oil are medium chain triglycerides, and that's where the bulk of the health claims come from, as the foundation for most of the purported health claims are based on how MCTs can be beneficial. However, in reality, only about 15 to 20% of coconut oil fats are medium chain triglycerides. And the effects of the most prevalent of the MCTs, the lauric acid, are quite debated as the evidence is not very strong. Let's dive into an investigation about the specifics. Most of the evidence for how coconut oil is beneficial for humans is indirect research. By this I mean the studies are looking at medium chain triglycerides in the diet and showing that maybe there might be some benefits to having MCTs in your diet, and then proponents of coconut oil take those claims and apply them to coconut oil, even though the research itself wasn't on coconut oil at all. This is a tenuous type of extrapolation at best, and the research on coconut oil specifically is mostly done in vitro, i.e. in a laboratory setting, and if it happens to be done on any sort of animal species, it tends to be on lab animals like mice. At the very best, all that this shows us is that some effect from coconut oil might be possible, but we don't have any idea if those effects will be replicable in the human species or in any other species like the dog or the cat or the horse. As tends to be common in the world of veterinary medicine, we just don't have a lot of research on coconut oil in the veterinary species, let's say dogs or cats, as most of the claims that I hear about are related to those two species. And as we just covered, the evidence for humans is quite weak, and so people are extrapolating in vitro research or research on medium chain triglycerides onto humans. Then they are taking that extrapolation one step further and applying it to the canine and or feline species. This is weak and poor scientific practice, especially when the foundational evidence is not very strong to begin with. We do have a couple of studies that used coconut oil in the veterinary species. There was one study that added coconut oil to diets of dogs that were needing to lose weight. What it found was that the dogs that had the coconut oil lost less weight than the dogs that did not eat the coconut oil. And the dogs that ate the coconut oil also had more body fat than dogs that had sources of other fats in their diets. I'm not sure of the clinical relevance of this next study, but there was a study that looked at a number of different fats, including coconut oils with dogs, and it showed that dogs that have coconut oil have less capability of smelling and using their nose for tasks. They have a decline in odorant detecting ability. One of the most common reasons I will have clients bring up coconut oil to me is because they've heard online somewhere that they should be applying coconut oil, whether they're giving it topically or orally, to their dogs and cats because that dog or cat has a skin issue. Coconut oil is useless for this application, and here's why. For skin barrier health, we rely a lot on omega fatty acids, specifically omega-3 fatty acids and omega-6 fatty acids. And the omega-3 fatty acids are the more important of the two. There are 0 omega-3 fatty acids found in coconut oils and only very tiny amount of omega-6 fatty acids, like around at most 2% present in coconut oil. This is why using coconut oil for skin problems is not recommended. It will not be helpful. And what tends to happen is that if people apply it topically, the animal just licks it off. And if they give it orally, then it also will be ineffective. So at this point, there is 0 clinical research demonstrating that giving coconut oil orally or topically to our pets is a thing that could be helpful in any way. It's just a waste of time and money and effort, and it will not be helpful in the prevention or treatment of any significant health issue. Now, sometimes people will start using coconut oil and then their animal gets better and they attribute that to the coconut oil, when in reality, what's happened is that their animal has improved despite the coconut oil, or they also saw their veterinarian and their veterinarian would have implemented an appropriate treatment plan, and that's what's improved the animal. Has nothing to do with the coconut oil. Additionally, there are some harms associated with using coconut oil because it is high in fat. If our pets ingest it, there are risks of it causing pancreatitis, especially in dogs, as higher fat diets are associated with causing pancreatitis in canines, which can be incredibly serious, and some patients even die from pancreatitis. We also frequently see signs of GI upset with pets that are given coconut oil, whether they lick it off their own skin or whether it's given to them orally. The GI upset usually looks like vomiting and diarrhea. As the ASPCA notes, in very small amounts, it's unlikely to cause harm, but it's not going to have any benefit either. And at higher amounts, it can be harmful to your pets, so it's not advised to be giving it. Also, one kind of tangential note that I want to add in here is that coconut water is usually very high in potassium, and this can cause significant problems with our pets, so coconut water must be avoided at all times. Do not give coconut water to your pet. There's just no point in giving it. It's a waste of money, a waste of time, and it risks harm to your pet without any benefit. This is just another one of those situations where people who do not have any expertise are giving advice about things that they don't know anything about. So stop giving coconut oil to your pets. Stop leaping to that as the first option if you notice that your pet is having a skin issue or another issue. It will not give any benefit, and it can cause harm. If your pet is having skin problems, you need to see your veterinarian. They will need to check for secondary infections. They will need to check for the primary cause of that skin issue, and then they will need to formulate an appropriate research-based and effective treatment plan for your pet. You should save your money and use it for those treatments and not for coconut oil. If you have a topic that you'd love for me to cover in the future, please comment it down below. I love hearing from you and I read every comment, which is why I highlight one in every video. Thank you so very much. And I put up a new video most Fridays. I cannot wait to see you in next week's video. I hope you take care of yourselves and that you're staying safe in this weather that many places are currently having. We'll see you next time. Bye. It's just a waste of time and money and effort.